I just want you to start with your name and spelling and then your classification, just so I can make sure everything's spelled correctly.
Okay. My name is Chacey Schoeppel, and that is spelled ChaceySchoeppel, and I am an agricultural business pre-law junior from Fairview, Oklahoma.
From Fairview?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so tell me a little bit about being a Truman Scholar, the process. First of all, tell me what exactly it is for the people who might not know.
Okay. The Truman Scholarship was founded when President Harry Truman was given the opportunity to have money allocated for a monument in his honor in Washington, D.C. And he said, instead of a monument, I want to create a foundation that provides students the opportunity to pursue a career in public service through a scholarship. And so what the Truman Scholar Program looks like is considered one of the nationally prestigious scholarships, similar to the Rhodes Scholarship, Gates Cambridge, the Udall, and it is $30,000 for graduate study in which you are committed to work in public service for 3 of the 7 years following completion of that graduate study.
So tell me about the process of winning.
I started the Truman application process back in October, and OSU institutionally selects candidates to move on to the national round, and I was one of 2 selected from OSU to be moved on to the national application, and there's around 160 institutions across the United States that submit applications to the foundation. There were around 600 applications that were submitted to the foundation this year, and from there 204 were selected as finalists. I was one of 2 from Oklahoma. And okay, sorry.
You're fine.
Do you want me to talk about the actual application at all, or is
if you want, if you just want to talk about the process or what you want to do post-graduate.
Okay, I think I can just talk about the interview, and then I'll actually talk about the application itself.
Sure.
So, I interviewed in Denver against students from Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. It was a grilling 20-minute interview that focused a lot of what we actually talked about in our application itself, our scholastic achievement, our leadership ability, experiences that the people that wrote our letters of recommendation touched on, as well as the main focus of the Truman application, which is a policy statement on a social issue that we feel strongly about. My policy statement was on international development and the United States Agency for International Development's distribution of funding to third world countries.
And what about that sparked your interest? I mean, what exactly are you looking to do in the future, or how are you going to use that topic later on?
Starting in March of 2013, I began working with a nonprofit started by 2 OSU grads called the Ubuntu Youth Project, and it is a after-school program in rural Kwa-Zulu Natal, South Africa that focuses on mentoring, agricultural education, tutoring, entrepreneurial skills, and postgraduate success. And through that, I've had an interest since high school just with the United States relations with other countries, and I think I've been able to further research where our money goes as far as federal spending abroad, and being able to get kind of a firmer grasp on what that entails. And I think that really piqued my interest and is something that I have pursued since. After I graduate from OSU, I plan to be in South Africa with the Ubuntu Youth Project for several years until it's locally sustained, and then from there I plan to go to law school.
Very cool. How do you think OSU has prepared you for all of these endeavors that you're heading towards when you graduate and even in the upcoming year?
The day that I enrolled here at OSU, Dr. Cheryl DeVeast, who's the assistant provost, who's been one of my mentors since high school, pulled me out of the browse session in the Union Ballroom and took me over to the Office of Scholar Development and introduced me to the then director, Dr. Bob Grallman, who retired this past year, and introduced us and said, "Bob, I have your next Truman Scholar." And I didn't know what that was at the time, and Dr. DeVeast really took an interest in me and has really invested in me since. I doubted her then when she told Dr. Grallman that I was going to be a Truman Scholar. I doubted her extensively up until I found out that I was a scholarship recipient, but I think that in itself is a great testament to the community here at Oklahoma State and their investment in students. There's no reason to be surprised that OSU is a Truman Honor institution. There's no reason to be surprised that we've had 17 Truman Scholars in the past 30 years. And I think that's all due to the community and their investment in students specifically. My academic advisor is a Truman Scholar, Dr. Shannon Farrell. My agricultural policy professor right now, Courtney Cowley, is a Truman Scholar. Dr. Grallman was able to write one of my letters of recommendation. Dr. Spurrier is my honors advisor, and people that have been here that understand the system, that understand student success, and that have really poured into me, that I know that I wouldn't have been a Truman Scholar at Harvard. I wouldn't have been a Truman Scholar at Yale or Princeton or Stanford. I probably wouldn't have been a Truman Scholar at the University of Oklahoma either. And I don't think this would have been possible at all had I not been a student here at Oklahoma State.
Is there anything else you want to add? Is there anything important that I might have left out? Or, I mean, you touched upon what you want to do, the application process.
I think that's pretty much it.
All right.